Alright, this is a video for 1HT and 1VT about exercise 36 from chapter 6. It's about the cables between two towers on a bridge make the shape of a parabola. Here you can see that. This is the parabola like that. And the formula for that parabola is this one. Y equals 0.005 x squared plus 5. If you draw that, you get exactly this parabola. That's part of this bridge. Y is the height of the cable above the water, because underneath this bridge there is some water here. So the height is not compared to the road, no, the height is compared to the water underneath the bridge. The first question is, for x is 20, find y. Okay, so this is how you do that. We do y equals, I'm going to write down the formula, so 0.05, but instead of x we now have 20. Now, if x is negative, you have to put it in brackets, but 20 is not negative, so we can just write it down like that. And then plus 5. Now, for an exercise like this, you are allowed to use your calculator, right? If you can use a calculator, it says a symbol in front of it. But if you're at home, I can't see when you use your calculator anyway, right? And on a test about this chapter, you are allowed to use a calculator, so you can just use it for everything then. Here I get 7, so that means that y is 7 when x is 20. Okay, this was exercise A. Then we're going to go to exercise B. It says how many meters above the water is point A? Well, point A is over there, as you can see, there it is. And we do know the x that belongs with point A. See that? The x value is 50. So if we take 50 and put it in the formula, then what we get is y, and y is the height of point A. Yeah, so for question B, we know that x is 50. So what we need to do is we need to take that 50, and we're going to fill it in. Now, if you fill that in, then let's see what we get. I'm going to use a calculator for this. Also, if you don't mind, here I get 17.5 meters. Maybe I can add meters there also. So the height, point A is 17.5 meters above the water. Okay. Question C. How many meters above the water is point B? Now point B is over here, right? You can see that the x is 0 there, right? Because here the x is positive, here the x is negative, and on the y-axis the x is 0. So I know that the x is 0, so then we have to do 0.005 times 0 squared, and then plus 5, which will just be 5 because this whole thing will be 0. So B is 5 meters above the water. And then we're going to go to question D. It says here, a bird is sitting on a cable, and the bird is 30 meters above the water. Figure out the value of x in this situation. Yeah, here we can see point C, and there's a bird there. And the distance between the water and the bird is 13. And then we need to figure out what is the x here. Well, we know the x is smaller than 50, and the x is bigger than 0. And sometimes, I don't know how many lines there are. Sometimes these lines actually mean something, so that you can just count how many lines there are and then you can figure it out. Well, I don't know if that's true in this case, so I'm going to use a different approach. There's actually 2 ways to do this, an easy way and a difficult way. But the difficult way, if you get the hang of it, it's actually going to make it easier once you understand it. So here I'll show you, first I'll show you the difficult method then. We know that the y, that's the height above the water, that's 13 now. But the thing that we don't know is the x actually. We don't know what the x is. But if we knew what the x is and we fill it in, the outcome will be 13. I'm going to show you how to solve this. This is called an equation, but you don't need to know that word for now. But here it says that 0.005 times x squared plus 5 is 13. So what if I just remove this 5 here? Then it makes sense that I also remove it there. So actually, 0.005 times x squared is 8. Because if I add 5 to this, I will get 13. Right? Now here it says 0.005 times x squared is 8. So what if I divide this by 0.05? And also I divide this by 0.005. Let me show you what you get then. Here I have a calculator. I'm going to do 8 divided by 0.005. And that's 1600. So actually, 1600 is x squared, right? Because if I do this times 0.005, I get 0.005 x squared. And if I do this number times 0.005, I get 8. And then if x squared is 1600 and I want to know what x is, I have to take the square root of 1600. and it's 40 in this case. So we can see that C here, the x, is actually 40. Well, there is another way to calculate this, and another way is just by guessing. We already knew that it had to be less than 50. So if you try 55 first, right, you try that, you fill that in, and then you get an answer which is not 13. Right, it's not 13. Let me show you what the answer actually is. I'm going to type it into the calculator real quick. If I do 0.005 times 45 squared, and then plus 5, I get 15.125. Well, that's not what I want. I want it to be 13. So then I'm going to try something else. Now you can keep trying things until you try the correct one. Because if you fill in 40 in the formula, if you fill in 40 here, then the outcome will be 13, and that's exactly what we wanted it to be. So this is called solving an equation. It's actually quite difficult, and you're going to learn it later, right? This is the method you can also use. You're just going to fill in things until you have the correct answer. And then what you can also do, but sometimes it doesn't work, because sometimes the picture is exactly correct. It's like it's supposed to be. And sometimes the picture is just a sketch, so it gives you a wrong idea. But in this case, we can see here that this part is made up out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces. So that means that every piece is 5 meters. And you can see that the C is 2 pieces behind the A. So that means 10 meters behind the A, so then it's 40. So in this case, you could also take a look at the picture, but sometimes you can't do that. That's why I showed you the other two ways also. Let me show an example of where you can't see it. I don't know if there is one, but later there will be one where you can't really see the lines, where you can't count them, and then you have to rely on one of those two methods. But maybe you understand all three of the methods, and then I'm very happy. So this is exercise 36. If you're looking for a challenge and you're finished earlier, you can also try 37, because that's kind of difficult. So if you want to do something more than other people, you can do that. If you want to do even more, you can take a look at 38, but you also have to do 39 and 40 today, which is about drawing graphs. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.